This is Karis Alexander with Deep Truth Media. I want to take the opportunity to share at a deeper level and expand on some of the concepts that I shared in my last audio. Let us consider that the power control force know exactly who and what you are. And in that knowing who and what you are, they devised a blueprint upon which they could hijack your eternal state of nothingness and forever keep you locked in this third dimensional construct. In that they understand at the very deepest level that your eternal state of nothingness is all-knowing and wise. And so when we talk about eating the forbidden fruit from the tree of knowledge of good and evil, that forbidden fruit, that eating, that whole concept of eating forbidden fruit from the tree of knowledge of good and evil was the very thing that the power control force, the universal architects who designed the natural order of creation and the unnatural order of creation, they wanted you to eat that forbidden fruit of knowledge of good and evil so that you would forget your eternal state of knowing and buy into the artificial knowledge that they created within this system of consciousness. You have to understand, for me, that it took 3 years to comprehend the whole concept that our universal architects created, the natural order of creation and the unnatural order of creation. It took me 3 years to understand that whole concept and be able to express it, to really embody that and believe it and be able to express it. So don't believe that anything that I share here is easy to share. It's not, because I'm stepping outside the confines of the system of consciousness and I'm sharing my own unique expression through my own experience. So remember, occult knowledge or hidden knowledge back in the day is really what is called controlled opposition today. It was designed to keep you forever locked in the system of consciousness. Now let's talk about the chakra system. Those chakras, those wheels of light that are described through many religions, many texts, are wheels of distortion. They are the carriers of light through the visual light spectrum that holds your essence in a frequency band, never allowing you to access the higher frequency. So this visual light spectrum that we are immersed in, this frequency band, which makes up this physical reality, is actually distortion that keeps you immersed, forgetting who and what you are. So when we talk about the chakra system, these are discs of distortion. They're like galaxies. They look like galaxies, don't they? They are discs. They are wheels of distortion. You know, when you come into this physical dimension, you come in as a baby and you're pure. You remember the essence of a baby. You may have had a child of your own. Well, when you come into this physical dimension, and all of us have, we come in with our pure essence intact. However, as we grow up within this physical dimension, our essence becomes distorted. This light spectrum becomes distorted, and then we have these wheels of light, these wheels of distortion. And as these wheels of distortion develop over our lifetime, they're carriers of our trauma and our pain and our suffering that we have been exposed to in this physical world through our parents. They are also carriers of our ancestral coding and our genetic coding, these wheels, these distortions. And so I know for myself, it is to clear these wheels of distortion so that our essence can flow through us. And these distortions, these wheels, line up with our spine. You know, they always talk about the 33 vertebrae. This fluid that flows through our 33 vertebrae is what needs to be cleaned up, because it's carrying all of our distortions, all the negativity, all the traumas. So let us consider that this Kundalini, this serpent energy, is simply a lower frequency that is in the visual light spectrum that holds us in a set frequency, that this Kundalini is on the scale of energy, the lower form of energy that is accessible within this physical universe. You know, I talk about the scalar energy and the ultraviolet rays energy and the gamma ray energy. Those are spectrums of energy that we don't even have access to within our visual light spectrum. So when we look at our visual light spectrum and the set frequency that we are in, this Kundalini serpent energy seems to be the overriding energy in which we have access to. This sexual energy is what is creating or allows us to procreate within this system of consciousness. So this Kundalini energy, this serpent energy, could we consider then that the serpent energy is simply the instinctual energy that we all carry within us in this biological vehicle, as that is associated with the reptilian brain. And that really the reptilian aspect, or that that David Icke talks about and many have talked about in terms of there are reptilians controlling this physical world, that maybe it's just a reptilian brain that they're talking about, that the power control force are controlling the reptilian brain, and it really doesn't have anything to do with reptilians. Maybe you consider that, and that the pineal gland is simply a diversion tactic to keep you on the wheel of time. This whole activation of the pineal gland, and that the power control force know that if they can give you information and divert your attention to focusing on the pineal gland and the activation of the pineal gland, that they will forever keep you immersed in this wheel of time, in the program. And that one must activate the pineal gland along with activating the heart. And I say this because I don't experience much activity in my brain at all now. So that always led me to believe that this whole pineal gland activation is a diversion, and that I see through the heart. I see and experience this physical world through the heart, through the internet, that I access this field of consciousness through the heart, and I use the mind and the brain now simply to imagine or focus my attention, but there's not a whole lot going on there because I have this direct connection. I experience the totality of who I am outside of this universe. So this whole pineal gland activation is a diversion, and that, yes, you do activate the pineal gland. When you activate the pineal gland, you bring into balance the left and right hemispheres of the brain, which allows you to activate the brain and the heart. That's bringing the pineal gland activation and the heart activation into balance, allowing you to transcend this physical dimension, this whole system of consciousness. And so you might be saying, well, Karis, I really don't wanna transcend this whole system of consciousness. I understand it was never something I was aspiring to do either. I just wanted to learn to love myself more. But what I'm suggesting to you is that although learning to love myself more was all that I was seeking, that I have been able to transcend the system of consciousness. And so that's an option for you. It's really the only option to consider. Otherwise, you will remain in a system that immerses you in pain and suffering. And so when I talk about starving the program, it's about gaining our direct connection to that which we are in the system of consciousness. And yes, we have to remove all the distortions from these discs, these wheels of light, the chakra system, so that our essence can flow through us, this physical biological vehicle, uninhibited. So when we remove those discs, those chakras, those distortions from the chakra system, then we can access the higher frequencies of energy within this system of consciousness that is beyond the Kundalini energy, the serpent energy, because it's that serpent energy that creates all the distortions. It's that serpent energy, that sexual energy that causes us or want to feed off of one another. You see, the power control force developed the blueprint in which we have this feeding mechanism going on, which creates all the pain and suffering. This feeding mechanism is this give and take of energy amongst one another. So if we are trying to get our needs met or love from someone else, all we're doing is trying to get our love from someone who's infected, who has distortions just like us. So it's like this feeding mechanism, and all we're doing is exchanging distorted frequencies of energy, forever enslaving us or entrapping each of us into this system of consciousness, never having access through the all-knowing and eternal state of nothingness that is us, and have that direct connection to that source of love that ever flows through you when you have cleared your distorted energy, these wheels of light that cause unnecessary pain and suffering. So the whole concept here is to develop your direct connection to your essence, your eternal state of nothingness, which is pure. There are no distortions. There is no negativity. There is no pain and suffering. These are all concepts within this distorted Kundalini energy, this sexual energy that forever keeps you in this perpetual loop time, addicted to your third dimensional reality, only allowing you to see through the visual light spectrum, only allowing you to experience through self, through the awareness that is you, or the eternal state of nothingness that is you, through the five sense personality, believing that all of this is real. But that's by design. The power control force wants you to believe that your personality and your five sensory experience is real, because that keeps you in the perpetual loop or wheel of time, addicted through your third dimensional reality experience, allowing them to use your fuel, your eternal state of nothingness, as a fuel source to keep this system propped up. So when we talk about starving the program, it's about reclaiming your essence in your eternal state of nothingness and living out the rest of your life, having access to your eternal state of nothingness, no longer needing love from your external reflective, always having it available to you and accessible to you in the knowing and truth and experience of who and what you are, that is ever flowing, is always available, always accessible to you, your eternal state. And when you rest there, in that knowing and experiencing your eternal state, no longer needing or desiring anything from this physical world or anyone, that is sheer power. You are holding sheer power. You can create whatever it is you want from this place of wholeness, from your eternal state of nothingness. That is true freedom. That is true power. You can starve this system of consciousness and allow it to dismantle all around you, and continue to allow this eternal state of nothingness to flow through your biological vehicle, knowing full well that you are the holder of the glory and the peace and the joy and the reverence, and that you need nothing from this system. And yet you can still be here and create within this system of consciousness. So you are the holder of the wisdom. You are the holder of the knowledge, the true knowledge of that which you are. This physical world system can direct you. So I want to emphasize that, yes, use the knowledge on the physical world system as a stepping board to coming to know the deeper truth of who you are, and that you are the holder, the container of the wisdom and knowledge, and that you can bear witness to the lies and deception that you are experiencing on this physical dimension, and know that this knowledge, this occult knowledge and wisdom, is really designed to keep you immersed in the system of consciousness, and that you, as the eternal state of nothingness, is the holder and container of the true wisdom, that you can be free of this system, that you can be free of this con. So I leave you with that to ponder, to explore and experience on your own these concepts of what I'm sharing through my own experience. But again, we truly are the ones that we have been waiting for. Yes, use a system of consciousness, use the knowledge in order to springboard, in order to allow you to break free of the system, break free of the con that's been posed on you, that's been perpetrated on you. See the lie for what it is. Transcend the lie and live here and express and experience that which you are. I thank you so much for tuning in.